By the end of this video, my goal is that you learn at least one thing that'll actually help you win more games. Now, my name is Civil, and I've won tens of thousands of dollars and been able to travel the country playing football video games. Just so you know, I'm not just some like random dude trying to give you advice. And in this video, I'm going to be giving you 10 beginner tips that'll actually help you win more games. The first thing we got to know is passing. Now, there's 3 different types of passes we can make, and then I'm going to give you a little bit of a secret with these 2 that nobody seems to talk about, but I've been able to learn. So, just by tapping the receiver icon, we can make what's called a lob pass, right? You just want to tap that real quick, and it's going to lob the ball up and loft it high in the air and give you kind of that drop in the bucket type of dime. If we hold it for a little bit longer, like we did right there, it's a little bit more of a touch pass, which is in between a lob and in between a bullet. And if we hold the icon down of the receiver we want to throw to, we will get a bullet pass. And right there even was a little bit more of a touch pass. So if you hold it down longer, you'll get more and more of a bullet. Right here, that's a bullet pass. That's going to go as hard as you possibly can throw. Now, here's a little bit of a secret. Almost nobody who passes the ball at a super high level, and I'm talking about the guys who play in tournaments, who really care about winning or losing their games, almost none of them use lob passes or touch passes. You might be saying, but Civil, there's situations I would use those. What they do instead is hold the left bumper button, which is LB or L1 on PlayStation, which gives you a high pass. So we do the same thing, and notice how that's going to get the ball up. So what that can be really good for is working in the middle of the field if you're trying to throw over a linebacker or something. Right here, that is a bullet pass that I'm holding LB with. Now, a lot of people, there's 2 things. If you are new to playing the game, or you haven't played it in a few years, whatever, I highly recommend you use revamped passing. If you're somebody who is familiar with freeform in Madden, or you want to try hard a little bit more, I highly recommend you go placement and accuracy with the following settings right here. Feel free to pause the video. Small, reticle speed set to 10. Now, the reason I think this so much with placement and accuracy is because when you hold the left trigger, you actually get to see a little bit more of your control with the ball. First one, we actually bullet pass all the way and miss the throw, but you get to see a little bit more of where you have full control of the ball. So right there, I put it all the way down. Let's go next throw. I'm going to put it let's try to put it all the way up and inside. And you can also get these blue passes. Right there, I led it too far. But you can also get these blue passes, which means it'll always be accurate. The key with this, though, is that you don't want to lead it too far. I'm actually pushing this ball a little bit too far. So let's go not as far this time, and we're going to be good. Again, this is all the stuff you need to know for passing. But what about catching the ball? Well, there's 3 types of catches. If we throw it, and then we hold A, or X on PlayStation, we're going to make a possession catch, okay? If we throw it and we hold X or square on PlayStation, we're going to rack catch it, all right? That's going to allow us to catch it in stride. If we throw it and we hold Y or triangle, that is going to be an aggressive catch. So that's going to be him going up to try to get the ball. I love to try to aggressive catch a lot of high balls, and a good example would be right here, right? We go in the middle of the field, and we might ag catch that. Sometimes aggressive catches can also mimic rack catches as well. And let's do it again. This time, let's throw RB in the middle, but let's possession catch. Let's pretend there's a linebacker right there. Once you get good at pass leading, you'll be able to fit the ball into a bunch of very tiny windows, and you're going to be able to explode on your offensive side of the ball. Now, this is a play you absolutely need to add to your scheme ASAP because it's going to be able to pick you up a ton of really easy yards. It's great for short yardage, red zone, just a mix-in, whatever it is. It's called a jet touch pass. A lot of people call them jet sweeps, but because of the little like pop pass from the quarterback, the game calls it a touch pass. Now, to see if your playbook has any jet touch passes, you want to scroll over to play type, select pass, and then right here in the first section called quick pass, you'll see we have a jet touch pass, and then a fake pass, fake zone. Now, I don't like the fake zone one nearly as much because on the fake zone, they're going to pretend, the halfback's going to pretend to take the handoff, and he just doesn't fool anybody. Like, I just rather have him lead blocking. So don't call the fake zone ones, just call the normal ones. You see right there, he does a good job of getting a little block. We're able to cut this bad boy up and get some really good yards. Now, a pro tip is that you don't want to run this to the short side of the field. So right here, I have my jet sweep or my touch pass going to the right side. That is wrong. And the reason being is because there's less room for me to actually get to the sideline and outrun defenders. you would want to flip this to go to the wide side of the field, and that's going to be the best chance for you to be able to pick up some easy yards in whatever playbook you're in. Most playbooks have this. One of the things that has made this game so much fun to play is how good some of these ball carrier moves are, dude. There's going to be 3 main ones that I want to talk about, and then I'll throw in an extra one just for fun. This one you could definitely kind of fumble on, but it's pretty good. Skirt. Ah, come on. Now, the first 2 I'm going to talk about are both with holding the right trigger while you're making them. And then the third one is going to be no right trigger. So keep that in mind. First one, let's talk about the juke move. We're going to hold right trigger and we're going to push the right stick to the left or the right, depending on which way you want to cut. Now, different players obviously can do this at different skill levels. Ollie Gordon, the second, is really good with the juke move. Wow, we just got blown up. Oh, he stays on his feet. Boom. Oh! Oh! So right trigger, push the right stick, left or right, and you're going to get a good juke move. Now, holding the right trigger again, we can actually spin in any direction we want, and we can actually change directions pretty well with the spin move, holding right trigger and tapping B or circle. That's going to let us spin, and then we point the left stick in the direction we want to spin. So let's go to the left, we spin to the left. Now, he's not quite as good at this spin move. Some guys are really, really good. The Ohio State running back is really good with this, I think. Judkins. Right here, let's spin up. Boom. And that's just holding right trigger, tapping B, and pushing the left stick in the direction we want to spin. One more time real fast. We'll spin up. You can kind of see the power of that, and imagine if that's faster, because some guys can do it way faster. Now, the next one is going to be the spin move, but not tapping right trigger. So all we're going to do is push the left stick up and tap B or circle, and that's going to let us do a really cool spin move that's just really good for, like, head-on collision. So right here, boom. You see how we actually made the 2 guys in front of us miss? That's just tapping B, and you can kind of change direction with this one as well. Let's see. Boom. Like that's. Bang. Dang. Couldn't get it right there. That is the spin move, okay? So that's without right trigger. So that's, we've done 3. Next one. That right there. Hold right trigger. Hold right trigger. R2. And then, yeah, right trigger is R2 on PlayStation. And then tap Y or triangle on PlayStation. And that's going to give you a hurdle. Now, you will not... Wow. You will not typically get this hurdle to work, but you can, like we see right there. And you are liable to fumble. But when you get it, dude, it's pretty cool. Head-on collision. Ugh. Okay, dude, Ollie Gordon, he might have an ability or something for this. But yeah, those are the best ball carrier moves by far. And then the left stick is just really good as well. I mean, geez, dude. They're great. Now, our coaching adjustments on defense are super important. And the way we're going to pull the defensive coaching adjustment screen up is by clicking the right stick in. All right, it's going to bring us to this screen right here. I'm going to talk about what each of these do and what I think you should be using on this. Now, keep in mind, this is very generalized, and it could change based on your defense or based on certain situations throughout a game, okay? First and foremost, auto flip defensive play call. This we're going to leave on, and what this does is essentially, let's say you're running an unbalanced defense. So like nickel has a slot corner on only one side. This is going to make that nickel always go onto the side that is the strong side of the offense. So if they have a trips look on offense, the nickel is going to be on the side of the trips. If they have 3 tight ends on one side, the nickel is going to be on the side of the 3 tight ends. You'll always have your nickel on the correct side when you have auto flip defensive play call on. Now, let's talk about cornerback matchups. This is one that I never touch. It's bugged. It messes up a lot when they motion and stuff like that. It's just a little bit dumb. And truthfully, I'm a believer that your entire defensive scheme should be more around your entire defense and not trying to match up one-on-one in different spots. I just think that's just begging to not... It's just not great in video game football, okay? So quarterback matchups, we're leaving it balanced. If for anything else, it's bugged. Defensive motion response. We want this typically on default, I believe. What this is going to do is the defense will realign in response to offensive motion accordingly. So if we have a slot corner matchup on a slot wide receiver, and that slot wide receiver moves in, let's say he goes in motion in, our slot corner will move in with him. I want this. If you turn it off, that slot corner just stays there. That leaves you at the chance of getting a numbers advantage against you, letting the offense kind of manipulate what your defense looks like. With that being said, though, if you had a hyper-specific blitz where you need that slot corner right there, I would disable this. But general rule, we'll leave it default. Option defense read key. This is for read options. I would keep this to conservative. I want to focus on the QB, make sure they can't pull it, and make them hand it off into the teeth of the rest of my defense. Option defense pitch key. This is another bugged one actually in the game where these are reversed. So option defense pitch key conservative means that they're going to focus on the QB on any kind of speed option or load option. But they're going to focus on the QB, but it's flipped because it's bugged. Just a fact of the matter. So in reality, conservative is they're going to focus on the running back, and aggressive is they're going to focus on the QB in this game. Again, they're flipped. So I want them to focus on the running back, and on these speed options, I want them to have to keep it with the quarterback. That's going to get their quarterback taking some more hits. And usually the pitch leads to way bigger plays than keeping it with the QB. Strip ball, I'll always leave it balanced. Conservative, I've never used this before. It doesn't seem like there's no real reason to do this, I don't think. And then aggressive is just going to give you a high chance for a face mask penalty, which can really be costly. So I don't want to do that. Leave strip ball to bounce. Tackling, I've left this to bounce for now, but I've heard some good things about aggressive, where the AI defenders will attempt hit stick tackles. Now, anything that will increase the chance of actually getting a turnover without increasing the chance of a face mask, like strip ball does, is potentially worth trying. So maybe consider going tackling aggressive here. Now, if we go to our zone drops, this is very situational, okay? Turning on a zone drop will turn off any match. So if you have flat set to 5 and you run a cover 4 palms, match will get turned off. So keep that in mind. But typically the way I kind of operate with these is my curl flats will go to 25. My flats will be at default. Curl flats do a good job of actually getting to 25. And then my hook curls, I'll leave them at default. But if they keep on attacking me, let's say, on a little drag route, I'll drop it to 5. Or if they're attacking me 15 yards downfield, I'll push them back to 15, right? Just a little bit of plug and play there. And again, this could change a ton. If it's 4th and 1, we might go hooks to 5, flats to 5, everything to 5, or even 0 maybe, right? So we have some flexibility here. This could change a ton based on the defensive scheme that you run. These are the 2 coverages you need to be running right now in College Football 25. I don't care your formation, your playbook, your anything. You need to be running cover 3 sky, and you need to be running Tampa 2. Now, I'm going to give a quick breakdown of both of these. There's a billion different coverages in College Football 25, and breaking down all of them would be a video all on their own, especially all of the intricacies. But cover 2 or Tampa 2, which these are the same things in college football, by the way, cover 2 and Tampa 2, a little bit different than in real life, is really good at defending the middle of the field. Why is it called cover 2 or Tampa 2? Well, we have 2 deep blues right here. Only 2 deep zones equals cover 2. Okay, easy enough. Now, this is really good at defending the middle of the field, as you can see with 3 yellow zones here, but it is very susceptible to a couple of things that you should really know about. First and foremost, this deep middle part of the field could potentially get bombed. Now, it does take some specific route combos like a deep post, but it could get bombed for a 1-play touchdown. In real life, if you're somebody who's very familiar with cover 2 or Tampa 2 in real life, this mid-read would drop back to match this deep post if someone attacked it. That does not happen really in the game. It's very inconsistent, very easily can get bombed, okay? The next part is that on our sidelines, look at our cloud flat. He's the only defender on the sidelines, meaning that if they ran, let's actually go to the right side here. If they ran a corner route to the right, but then they also ran a flat route to the right, this cloud flat has to choose between the corner route and the flat. Well, whichever one he chooses, the offense can just throw to the other one. That's why I love flood concept, by the way. But that is a easy way to attack cover 2. But I do think those are a little bit more advanced methods to attack it. And I think our next coverage, cover 3 sky, does a really good job of countering these at least a little bit. So cover 3 sky, you're going to immediately see that we have these curl flats on the sidelines. They are these purple zones. Immediately, I actually want to just press Y or triangle and then shade my coverage underneath by pressing down on the right stick. Let's go turn them into hard flats. Curl flats in College Football 25 are just not very good, so I really wouldn't use curl flats all that much. Wow, they just lasered me. And you know where they threw that ball? They threw it in our weakest point on this defense, which is the seam, okay? In Tampa 2, we have a guy sitting right in this area, but in this defense, if in cover 3, if this guy is not exactly on it, our seams are super susceptible, like very, very. That's one of the best ways to attack cover 3, right? Make this deep middle third either be late choosing or have to choose between 2 routes in the deep middle part of the field, and it's very hard. It's the easiest way to attack cover 3. But we're going to get more help on the sidelines with our outside third and our hard flat, making it a little bit tougher to throw those corner routes and those flat routes. Now, what do you do if they start attacking you in the seam? Call Tampa 2. What do you do if they start, hitting you on the flats and stuff like that? Call cover 3. And a pro tip, I like to press cover 3. And I think cover 3 is a lot better against the run because you get an extra guy in the box. Although you could use a coverage disguise. That's a conversation for another video. We get a pick? No. We get a tackle? Good job. Take a look at this corner route from A right here. It's pretty deep, but it's nothing too insane. Now, take a look at this corner route from A again. Now it's super short. But then, let's look at it right here, where it's actually all the way down the field for like 80 yards. This is part of a brand new hot routing feature that EA added this year called custom stems. And pretty much any route that has a cut in it, you can custom stem and change the depth. For example, let's look at this in route. We can make him go super deep, or he could be a super baby in. We have full control of this. So the way we're going to do this is press Y or triangle, and then we're going to select our receiver icon and hold LB or L1. You have to hold it, all right? Then we're able to push the left stick up or down while still holding the icon to custom stem. If you've never done this before, it'll take a second, but you'll get pretty good at it and it'll make sense pretty fast. So what I love, one of my favorite route combos to do with this, is putting a deep corner, make him into a short corner, and then putting a flat route underneath it. This little high-low on the sideline is very good against zone coverage. We're able to get outside and underneath zones pretty often, but also it's going to do a good job against man. We're not going to get man right here, but it would do a good job against man if we had man. And then you also can take this underneath route. This is a little two-man route combo that you should probably steal and add into whatever scheme you're running right now. Now, another way we can do this is let's take this hot routed post route and let's push all the way down the left stick, or push all the way up, potential coverage bomb. The new hot routing system is awesome in this game. And again, you just open that window by pressing Y or triangle, the receiver icon, and instead of custom stemming, you could utilize some of these routes right here, like corner routes, slants, posts, deep crossers. A lot of just really, really good stuff here, boys. The pass rush in college football 25 is very, very good, and your quarterback ends like that pretty often. But there's a few things we could do to kind of help ourselves out here. So first and foremost, this all comes down to the idea of pocket presence. And so what we don't want to do is push the left stick back when we're passing and kind of walk backwards. It sounds obvious, but more people do it than you realize. And next time you're passing, see if you're doing it. Because a lot of people do this, and then something like that typically happens. So what this allows is, first of all, this helps edge pressure come in. See that left slot corner? He just totally screams at us. It's going to help defensive ends shed to the outside, and it's going to make the pass that we end up throwing way further, okay? Right there, I stepped up in the pocket, and I was able to buy myself time. If I were to walk back, though, this throw to the comeback is way further, allowing the defense more time with the ball in the air to go and try to make a play, a knockout, even an interception, right? So instead, we want to step up, and right there, I kind of walked backwards, then stepped up. But we want to push the left stick either to the left or right, and then try to sit steady as much as we can, right? And you see how that slot corner is no longer coming in. Okay, so all I'm doing is pushing the left stick left or right, trying to step up, and we're good. Now, a big thing here, you would take your open read that's on the right. That's not the point of this little segment. Boom. Here we are. We're sitting, and you see we're able to buy ourselves a lot of time. And if we do take a sack right here, think about this. The ball is getting snapped at the 30-yard line. Let's say we step up. Boom, we get sacked. We're getting sacked at the 34. That's 2nd and 14. If we walk backwards and then we take a sack, right? Let's just say we take a sack. That's 2nd and 20. That 6-yard difference is huge. The next little thing, too, if you have a little fast quarterback, you can actually get out of there. Wolf is not very fast, but you get the idea. By holding right trigger, we actually have the ability to escape the pocket, especially up the middle. This will make a lot of defenses have to start spying you, which is taking a defender out of the pass rush lane and taking the defender out of coverage. It's really good if you can start scrambling up the middle. Even with slow quarterbacks, it's something we're able to do. I don't do it right there, but you get the idea. An underrated tip in this game is that if you're struggling against the run, call cover 3. And I will show you why right here. So we'll call cover 3 sky. Does not matter the playbook, formation, anything like that. Just call cover 3. And then let's go into random run plays right here against Michigan. So there's a rule of thumb here. If they're in a passing set, we're going to use a linebacker. If they're in more of a heavy running set, like they are right now, we are going to use the high safety right here, okay? Then we want to bring him down to about 10 yards away from the line of scrimmage. If we're on the linebacker, we'd use him 10 yards away from the line of scrimmage. And we're just going to try to flow to the ball. Now, by being back so far, what we're going to be able to do is actually get our user, the guy we are on, to come free and help make the tackle or force him back inside. This formation, who are we going to user? We're going to user one of these linebackers. Then we're going to stand 10 yards back. They are going to snap the ball, and we're going to try to come downhill. And in this case, I actually did a bad job. I want to flow a little bit better and force that run back inside. But you got to see that my user did come untouched. Let's do it again right here. Let's shade down, because I don't like curl flats in cover 3. And here we go. I come down. Boom. I'm able to at least get some, one-on-one play with my user in the halfback to help mess up where he's going. Right here, who are we using? This high safety. Get up here, and we're looking to flow to the ball. Let's see. Now the ball. Boom. Oh, ISO. We're able to come down, and our user is able to help shore up the run. Now, will they get yards doing this? Yes. Will this help slow down a potent rushing attack, though? Absolutely. Your user defender is the most important player on the field always, at all times when it comes to defense, okay? A lot of people like to user their D-line and try to get a bull rush or something like that, right? The ball gets snapped and, we're trying to just get after the quarterback. I get this. It can be cool. It can definitely do some neat things. But I'm telling you, dude, I've played competitive Madden and I've won tens of thousands of dollars playing this game, or playing Madden, I guess, which is similar. And nobody who's winning money or winning a lot of games is using the D-line. What you want to do is user somebody in coverage, ideally somebody who's in one of these yellow zones in the middle of the field, because if you mess up, it's not that bad, but if you make a big play, it'll change everything. So how do we actually user? Well, there's a couple of things we're thinking about, right? What routes do they have on the field? And then where are the weaknesses in my defense? So in a cover 3, I'm actually pretty susceptible in the seams and kind of in the middle of the field a little bit, right? Really right where my user is. So in this case, I'm going to look at their formation, right? They have 4 receiving threats to the right. I'm going to cheat a little bit to the right, and then I'm going to look over to that side of the field, right? Oh, they have a crossing route in the middle. Boom, he cut up. Cool. And it's just like that. It's very, very basic. Now, let's say I didn't know what play they were going to call, right? And I actually think, man, I think he's going to run a corner route to the right side, run a flood concept. So I overcommit to the right. Boom. Oh, and they had a route open in the middle of the field. They didn't hit it. But let's say, oh, I saw that route open in the middle of the field. Well, now, check this out. I'm going to fake going to the corner route like I did last time, right? Fake. And then I'm going to go back into the middle of the field. And they actually still hit that. So you know what that means? Bad user by me. So what am I going to do this time? I'm just going to I'm going to commit a little bit less. I'm going to slow play it a little bit more, right? We're going to be here. Now, we're all good. I'm not holding turbo, the right trigger, until I get into a situation where I actually want to sprint. So all throughout here, when the ball snapped in the middle of the field, I'm all left stick. And then, oh, I want to go upfield. Now I'm right trigger, right? I'm sprinting now. Another thing we could do is make basic adjustments to help our user out. So I've had to user that route in the middle of the field over and over again. But what if I put this guy in a mid read? Do I still need to? I actually don't know against this, but we'll see. Boom. No, we don't need to anymore. We actually get some help. So now my user can go defend the corner route, right? You can see how we can build a scheme around our user. And on any given play, my user could, be on the right flat. It could be in a corner route, or it could be defending somewhere else on the field. It's so versatile, and it is the biggest thing we can do in this game to start playing better defense immediately, especially in the coverage game. Wow, they just doubted me. That's fire. If you're watching this video, you've probably missed a field goal or two. I certainly have. So, what I highly recommend you do when you get your field goal unit out there is that you press the timeout button and you trot your fucking offense back out onto the field. Okay? Get your offense back out there. Now, if you insist on kicking the field goal, let's say you just absolutely insist. Okay, let's do it. I have a couple of tips for you. This is still really, really hard. So first and foremost, you have to aim this bad boy. Now, you'll always want to push the left stick all the way down, because that's going to get you the most distance, which is going to help for longer field goals. And then aiming it, I don't really have any tips for outside of just using the left stick and trying to aim it. You'll just get the hang of this. Then with the timing of this bad boy, what you want to do is try to time it off of one of the bounces. And typically, I like to always do it off of the left bounce. So you see this thing bouncing back and forth? When it hits off the left, then that's when I try to time it in the middle. Then after that, it's just a hold of A or X on PlayStation all the way up right before that red tip. Let's see if we can do it right here like this. Oh, we actually drill it. Oh, that's the best field goal I've ever kicked before. I'm ending on that. That is what it should look like. These tips I just gave you, though, are nothing without some fun plays to use. And I broke down the 15 most unique plays in college football 25. Click that video right there. It is a ton of fun.